Everything feels silent. Nothing seems to be changing. And then suddenly, everything changes at once. The moment you thought nothing was happening was the moment everything was aligning. And the day it arrives, it won't feel surprising, it will feel inevitable. A hidden process unfolds long before any visible result appears, and most people miss it because they are too focused on what they cannot yet see. Life does not always announce its biggest shifts with noise or warning. Instead, it works quietly beneath the surface, aligning moments, shaping emotions, and preparing circumstances. The journey toward a deep union is not something that begins on the outside. It begins within. When the internal state shifts, the external reality starts reorganizing itself accordingly. But this reorganization is subtle at first, almost invisible. Days pass, nothing dramatic happens, and doubt begins to whisper that nothing is changing. Yet in that stillness, something powerful is building. Every thought, every feeling, every belief is contributing to a larger outcome that is slowly taking form. The silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Many misunderstand timing because they measure progress only by visible results. They look for immediate evidence and, when they don't find it, they assume nothing is happening. But the most significant transformations happen out of sight. Just like a seed grows underground before it breaks through the surface, the foundation of a lasting connection is built in unseen ways. During this phase, patience becomes strength. Trust becomes power. The ability to hold a vision without constant reassurance becomes the key. This is where most people give up, not realizing they were closer than they thought. The quiet phase is not a delay, it is a necessary part of the process. It is where alignment happens, where everything begins to come together in ways that cannot yet be measured. And when the moment finally arrives, it feels sudden, but it was never sudden at all. There is a shift that occurs when a person stops focusing on the absence and starts living in the presence of what they desire. Instead of asking when it will happen, they begin to feel as if it already exists in their life. This feeling changes everything. It removes the sense of waiting and replaces it with quiet certainty. Actions become more natural, thoughts become more positive, and emotions become more stable. This inner state creates a ripple effect that influences everything around them. Opportunities begin to appear, connections start to form, and paths begin to open. None of it feels forced, because it isn't. It is the result of alignment, not effort. And this alignment is what makes the transition from nothing happening to everything happening feel so seamless. It is not a jump, it is a flow. People often believe that major life changes require dramatic build-up, but the truth is far more subtle. The biggest shifts often come quietly, without warning, without noise. One moment, life feels ordinary, and the next, everything is different. This is because the groundwork was already laid long before the visible change occurred. The mind may not register the small steps, but they are happening nonetheless. Every positive thought, every moment of belief, every decision to stay aligned contributes to the final outcome. When the result finally appears, it feels instant, but it is actually the culmination of countless invisible steps. This is why it is so important to trust the process, even when it seems like nothing is happening, because something always is. Energy plays a crucial role in how experiences unfold. When someone operates from a place of lack, they create resistance that delays what they desire. But when they shift into a state of fulfillment, that resistance disappears. This allows things to flow more freely. The feeling of already having what you want creates a sense of ease that attracts similar experiences. It is not about forcing something to happen, it is about allowing it to unfold naturally. And when it does unfold, it often happens quickly, almost all at once. This is the power of alignment. It compresses time, turning what seemed distant into something immediate. The quiet phase builds the momentum, and the visible phase releases it all at once. There is also a deep emotional transformation that takes place during this journey. At first, there may be uncertainty, doubt, and impatience. But over time, these emotions begin to fade as confidence grows. The focus shifts from external validation to internal stability. This stability becomes the foundation for everything that follows. When a person feels complete within themselves, they no longer seek completion from others. Instead, they attract connections that complement their already fulfilled state. This is what creates a strong and lasting bond. It is not built on need, but on alignment. And this alignment is what makes the final result feel so natural, as if it was always meant to happen. The transition from quiet preparation to visible manifestation is often so smooth that it feels almost effortless. One moment, things seem uncertain, and the next, everything falls into place. Conversations happen, decisions are made, and suddenly, the reality that once felt distant becomes present. This is the moment where all the unseen work reveals itself. It is not chaotic or overwhelming. It is calm, clear, and undeniable. It feels right, not because it was forced, but because it was aligned. This is the difference between something that is chaste and something that is allowed. What is chaste often feels unstable, but what is allowed feels secure. Trusting this process requires a shift in perspective. It means understanding that silence does not mean stagnation. It means recognizing that progress is not always visible. And it means believing that what is meant to happen is already in motion, even if it cannot yet be seen. This belief creates a sense of peace that replaces anxiety. It allows a person to live fully in the present moment without constantly worrying about the future. And this presence is what strengthens the alignment even further. The more grounded a person is, the more naturally things begin to unfold. The idea that something can happen all at once is often misunderstood. It is not about randomness or luck. It is about readiness. When everything is aligned, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and circumstances, the outcome becomes inevitable. And when it happens, it feels immediate because there is no resistance left. Everything flows smoothly into place. This is why the quiet phase is so important. It prepares everything for that moment of release. Without it, the result would not feel as stable or as natural. The suddenness is simply the visible expression of a long period of invisible preparation. In the end, the journey is not just about reaching a specific outcome, but about becoming the person who is ready for it. The process shapes character, builds confidence, and creates a deeper understanding of life. And when the final moment arrives, it is not just a change in circumstances, it is a reflection of who you have become. The quiet days, the unseen growth, the internal shifts, all of it comes together in one powerful moment. And that moment does not feel rushed or unexpected. It feels right. It feels earned. And most importantly, it feels like it was always meant to happen. The most powerful transformations rarely announce themselves with noise or urgency. They begin in stillness, in moments that seem ordinary and unremarkable. Beneath the surface of everyday life, something begins to take shape quietly. Thoughts shift, beliefs evolve, and emotions start aligning in subtle ways. These internal changes may go unnoticed at first, but they are laying the foundation for something much greater. The absence of visible movement can feel frustrating, yet it is often the sign that deeper work is happening. Growth does not always demand attention, it often prefers silence. In that silence, strength is built, clarity is formed, and direction becomes clear. The world outside may look the same, but within, everything is preparing to change. This preparation is essential because it ensures that when the shift happens, it is stable and lasting. What begins quietly carries a depth that cannot be shaken easily, and when it finally surfaces, it reflects the strength of everything that was built in silence. There are moments when life feels paused, as if progress has completely stopped. Days pass without visible change, and it becomes easy to believe that nothing is moving forward. But this stillness is often deceptive. Beneath that quiet surface, countless elements are coming together. Circumstances are aligning, paths are crossing, and unseen forces are working in your favor. What appears to be inactivity is actually coordination happening beyond your awareness. Every experience, every delay, every small step is contributing to a larger picture. The mind may struggle to trust what it cannot see, but the process continues regardless. This phase requires patience, not action. It asks for belief, not proof. Because the truth is, what feels like emptiness is often full of hidden progress. The silence is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of preparation. And when everything finally connects, it will become clear that nothing was ever standing still. The idea of something happening suddenly is often misunderstood. What looks like an instant change is usually the result of a long, quiet build-up. Every thought, every belief, every moment of persistence contributes to that final breakthrough. The preparation phase may feel slow, even uncertain, but it is necessary. It creates the structure that allows the outcome to appear smoothly. Without that preparation, the result would not feel as natural or as stable. The moment of manifestation is simply the visible expression of everything that has already been happening internally. It feels quick because the groundwork has already been completed. This is why patience plays such an important role in the process. Rushing cannot replace preparation. True transformation takes time to develop, even if it appears instantly in the end. The suddenness is only an illusion. The reality is that everything was being built step by step long before it became visible. There is a shift that occurs when the focus moves away from chasing and toward trusting. Chasing creates tension, a constant feeling of needing something to happen quickly. Trust, on the other hand, brings calmness and confidence. When you trust the process, you release the need to control every detail. This allows life to flow more naturally. Opportunities begin to appear without force, and situations start to resolve themselves with ease. The absence of pressure creates space for things to unfold in their own time. This does not mean doing nothing. It means acting without desperation. It means believing that what is meant for you is already on its way. When this belief becomes strong, everything begins to move faster. Not because you are pushing harder, but because you are no longer blocking the flow. Trust removes resistance. And without resistance, progress accelerates. Everything in life responds to the state you hold within yourself. When your thoughts and emotions are aligned, your actions naturally follow. This alignment creates a sense of clarity that influences every decision you make. Instead of acting from confusion or fear, you act from confidence and understanding. This internal harmony begins to reflect outwardly. Situations become easier to navigate, and challenges feel less overwhelming. People respond differently. Opportunities feel more fitting, and outcomes begin to match your expectations. This is not coincidence, it is the result of alignment. When your inner world is stable, your outer world starts to mirror that stability. The process feels smooth, not forced. Things fall into place without unnecessary struggle. This is the power of being aligned within. It creates a flow that guides everything around you. And in that flow, results appear naturally, without resistance. Readiness is not something that can be rushed or forced. It develops over time, through experience, growth, and understanding. When you are truly ready for something, there is a sense of calm that replaces urgency. You no longer question whether it will happen, because you feel prepared for it. This internal readiness sends a clear signal that you are capable of receiving what you desire. It removes doubt and replaces it with confidence. The moment you reach this state, things begin to shift externally. Opportunities align, circumstances adjust, and the outcome becomes unavoidable. It is not about waiting for the right moment, it is about becoming the right version of yourself. When that happens, the external world responds instantly. What once felt distant suddenly feels close, and what seemed uncertain becomes clear. Readiness is the bridge between desire and reality. There is a hidden value in patience that many people overlook. It is not just about waiting, it is about growing during the wait. Every moment of belief, every decision to stay positive, every effort to remain aligned contributes to the final outcome. These moments may seem small, but they carry great significance. They build strength, resilience, and clarity. When the result finally appears, it reflects all of that unseen effort. It feels sudden, but it is actually the result of consistent inner work. Patience is what allows this work to develop fully. Without it, the process would be incomplete. The outcome would lack the depth that makes it meaningful. What arrives all at once is simply the reward of everything that was done quietly. It is the visible proof of invisible effort, and it carries a sense of fulfillment that only patience can create.